Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am Amy Lee, certified professional pet groomer since 2003, but it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you all my secrets of the pet grooming industry so that you and your pets can benefit from that, especially if you're grooming your dog at home. And so many people these days are, and I feel like what we've created here in our Go Groomer community, having a safe place for people to learn quality dog grooming techniques that work, methods that work, learn about tools, products, and where to get them. That is so essential to know what works, what doesn't, what's safe, what isn't safe. That's what we have created here, my friends. You and I and this whole community are really bringing a lot of value to pets all over the world. So we can be so proud of that. And you should be. I'm so proud of you. So guess what, guys? Tonight is a really awesome topic, just as I promised. The topic is get your dog to behave for dog grooming. This is a question that I am asked a lot. And there's so many variables to answer this question. How do I get my dog to behave for me while I'm grooming them? How do I get my dog to hold still? How do I get my dog to be comfortable with the grooming process? How do I get my dog to not be angry at me, not be afraid, not fear the tools, not fear the methods, not fear me as I'm trying to work with them? How do I do this, Amy? I get asked this a lot. So I've decided to put a lot of my efforts together in this live stream and hopefully be able to bring you the solution that you're looking for. It is so important for you to have good behavior on the dog grooming table for you and your dog. So we're going to dive into that tonight. In this video, you will learn professional methods to teach a dog good dog grooming behavior. I've prepared. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. How many? Okay, I'm ready to talk now. I gotta do this before I live stream. I gotta get the tongue twisters out because I'm always ahead of myself. So bear with me, guys, because I'm gonna feed you some great information tonight. I have prepared a few video demonstrations, not just one, not just two, but 3 for you to help transform your struggles when grooming a dog that is difficult to work with on the grooming table. So I have demos for you. You're not going to miss them. Those demos are locked and loaded in the queue for you. So hold on to your horses. We're coming at you. She'll be coming around the mountain in a minute. We're going to unload some demos on you so you can really understand and to get those visuals. But make no mistake that this will take getting your dog to be compliant and cooperative throughout the grooming process. It is going to take absolute patience from you and a lot of short training sessions with your dog on the grooming table. Now, we've talked about this in the past, guys. If you watch my live streams, you hear me say a lot. We have to train our puppies when they're young. We have to train our dogs when we rescue them to be okay with the grooming process. It's not second nature to them, okay? And the tools and the methods may be something completely that they can't relate to because it's just so different from any aspect of their life. So you have to be understanding. That's the first thing, patience and understanding, and be willing to have these short training sessions with your dog, not necessarily grooming, but handling them consistently with patience and proper handling, meaning the way we touch them. This is all things that are going to breed confidence in your dog, and it can come, trust me. So with consistency, with patience, and proper handling is the key to reverse bad behavior if your dog has that when you're grooming them, okay, when it comes to grooming. And a lot of dogs naturally are going to have some bad behavior when it comes to grooming because they don't understand why they're on the table. They don't understand what that tool is in your hand and why they have to like it. So we can help them with that. Building a dog's confidence to endure grooming is so important, and that falls on us as their best friend. They're our best friend. We got to be their best friend too. They have to be able to trust us. And it's not natural for a dog to tolerate bathing, drying, brushing, having their hair cut, or getting their nails trimmed. It's not natural for them. But it has to be done, so it has to become something that they accept, an acceptable part of their life. And we have to teach them by leading them with confidence. Guys, keep that at the tip of your mind tonight. Leading my dog with confidence. What does that mean? Maybe I'm not that confident of a person. Well, guess what? This is your chance to be confident when you're grooming your dog. You have to be. You'll have to bring that to the grooming table. And I'll tell you, anything that builds confidence in you to do other things too. So you may turn into this amazing, outgoing person once you build up your confidence learning how to groom your dog. But you'll have to bring that to the grooming table for your dog, guys. I do want you to understand that. So bring it in. Come here. Come here. Here. Now listen closely. Do I have your attention, my friends? Okay. If you're not confident with grooming methods and procedures, that will definitely pass right along to your dog and set your dog grooming sessions up for failure before you even begin. And I know you've heard me say that before, but I have to say it a lot. I want you guys to remember it. If I don't bring confidence in what I'm about to do with my dog at this moment on the grooming table, if I don't bring confidence, my dog knows it, feels it, and the whole session can go horribly wrong for both of us because confidence is not at the grooming table. It has to be. I know it's a hard thing. Confidence comes with you getting better at something, okay? I promise you. And the more you groom, or the more you brush your dog, the more you bathe your dog, whatever it is you do, trimming the nails, the more you do that, the more confidence you will have because you're going to become good at it. You really are. The more you do something, you will become good at it. So the first step to successful dog grooming is to practice handling your dog on the dog grooming table and be certain that your dog is safely and properly secured on the table. That makes your dog feel safe, okay? They need to feel safe. They're up on a table, but they need to be in order for us to just focus on our work. The only thing we do on the grooming table is work with our dog, okay? Even training on the grooming table is important. Training to just behave. Training them to behave on the grooming table before we even pick up a tool. So those sessions that I want you to do require your dog to get comfortable with the grooming table itself, requires you to get comfortable having your hands on your dog on the grooming table, having them stand, having them sit, having them stay, having them be used to touching you touching them in ways that you typically don't. You know, you typically don't pick up a dog's back leg. They'll be like, what are you doing? Right? How often do you stand in your living room and just say, I'll pick your leg up? So they're not used to that, right? How often, are you holding them up by their two front paws and giving them a sanitary? That's not a typical way that you usually handle your dog. So just handling them on the grooming table and practicing that is important before it's go time, okay? So here's what I did, one of the things I did for you tonight, because I love you that much. I linked videos in the description of this video below. They're linked in the description. And they're in order for you to begin training your dog to love the grooming process with you. And these are good videos. I want you to start by working with your dog 3 to 7 times a week. Okay, so that's a lot on the grooming table. Well, listen, we're going to limit we're going to call these training sessions. We're teaching them to be comfortable on the grooming table. The first part of grooming a dog is they need to be comfortable on the grooming table and not afraid. So we can help them with that. So we're going to limit those 3 to 7 training sessions every week. We're going to limit those to about 10 minutes. That's all it takes. We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to run this into the ground and ruin their you know, good vibe they may be having about grooming, because we're making them be up there for 30 minutes a day. They're like, okay, maybe it's going to make me not like it. Let's start them off slow, 10 minutes. Short sessions. It's important. That's going to help your dog build confidence on the grooming table and also finish the session with success. That's important for the dog's psyche. Each short, successful training session on the grooming table, each successful training session on the grooming table. Notice I said successful. That is a win for both you and your dog. And your dog knows it. He gets down, he's proud, you're happy for him, you're proud of him. That's a win for him. He needs that. Builds confidence. So during these little training sessions, if you're having trouble with a dog who doesn't comply with grooming, this is why you're doing this. During these training sessions, you're going to really just be performing brushing, combing, but you're really coaching your dog to stand nicely for you while doing so. See, that's important. A lot of people say, well, they coil up, they spin off the table, they don't, you know. We're going to teach them first how to stand on the table and behave before we work with them so that they can win at this. They don't understand grooming. They have to learn it. So the first video that I linked in the description below, remember I said I have 3 for you. All right, the first one is labeled Table Manners. It's appropriate, isn't it? And that's linked below, and that will teach you exactly how to do that. How to give your dog a little bit of confidence on the table and ways that you can actually boost their confidence on the table just by touching them, okay? So that is a great video. The second video linked for you, this is for later. Right now you're staying here because I got 3 demos to show you. The second video linked is going to show you how to safely secure your dog on the grooming table in order to encourage good behavior from your dog. That's important. The second video is very good too. They're all good. I wouldn't link them for you. So the dog needs to feel safe on the grooming table in order to build their confidence. If they don't feel safe, they're not going to feel confident. Okay, that makes sense. So that also will allow you to perform the grooming methods that you need to perform with them if they have confidence and they're compliant. So that video is labeled Items and Methods to Keep Your Dog Safe on the Grooming Table. And then the video is linked underneath it. So that's a good one too. And the third video is the perfect follow-up to those 2, because this one is more about you than anything. Okay? And this is important. The third video is your confidence boost, and you're going to love it. It's an amazing video. And I have it linked in the description as the third video, how to bring confidence to the dog grooming table. That's for you. How to bring confidence to the dog grooming table. The secret to help you and your dog love grooming is leading your dog with confidence during each grooming session. So you may need to learn that. You may need to learn how to lead your dog with confidence. But we got you covered. As always, in order for you and your dog to love grooming, this is a necessity. You have to pave the way and set the stage for both you and your dog. Understanding and developing emotional intelligence skills. This is a tough one. Understanding emotional intelligence skills, that's not easy. That it is something that is often overlooked in the grooming world. I think it should be a separate course for anybody learning to groom. How to develop emotional intelligence skills, because you're going to need them for grooming dogs or even just your own dog. So it's a good one. So that third video linked below, you're going to learn from a professional puppy consultant who helps people develop beloved pets. Her name is Shawn. She is a good friend of mine. She is so smart and just so educated, this woman. She's amazing. Her name is Shawn. You can also find her sharing all her secrets to building structure and boundaries with our pets on her YouTube channel called SVCC Schnauzers. I linked it for you guys too. I think I did. If I didn't, I will. Now I'm questioning, did I link her channel? I may not have. I know I linked the video. I'll make sure that it's there when we're all done here tonight. So I'll link her channel in the description as well so you can visit. She shares so many amazing secrets. Shawn's also a member of our Go Groomer community and probably joining us right here tonight live in the chat. I'm not sure. I can't see her yet. I don't know. It's a busy chat. Now, let's learn some of my methods that I use every day in my grooming salon to get better behavior from the dogs I groom. In this first demo that I'm going to throw on the screen for you, we're going to watch Devin, a new to grooming dog trainer. So she's not necessarily a groomer. She's still perfecting her skills, but she trains dogs with Shawn and she's very good at it. So we're going to watch Devin working with a beautiful schnauzer named Grace, which happens to be Ellie Grace's mom. So the reason we're going to watch this video with Devin and Grace is fearful of nail trimming. So we're going to watch Devin work with Grace and see how Grace is struggling, and we're going to watch that. And then the second demo that I'm going to show you, we'll watch me performing a nail trim on Grace, who is fearful of nail trimming, and see if I can bring a different approach to the grooming table, you know, a different confidence or something different for Grace. We're going to see, okay? So let's roll our first demo and watch Devin work with Grace trimming nails so that I can see if I can offer any advice on how to help Grace and Devin become more comfortable and more confident during the routine nail trimming that they do together, which is usually every week. So demo number 1, Grace and Devin, let's roll it.
Me to go show you what we normally do or no?
I guess. Then maybe I could try.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Grace.
Hello, Grace. I love you, Grace. Yes.
So Grace is very fearful of her nails to be trimmed.
Yes, Grace is a good girl. Grace is a good girl. Yes, Grace. Okay. Yes, Grace. Yes. Good girl.
Good job. To my big girl, Grace. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Grace.
It's okay.
Grace.
Yes, Grace. Okay. Let's stand up. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, let's stand up a little today. Yes, Grace. Yes, Grace. Good job. Yes, Grace. Good job, Grace. Yes, Grace. Good job.
Okay, that was just a warm-up for you. All right, hang on here. Let me clear some things. Before I do anything, I'm not going a step further without putting my hands up and saluting Impossible Pup for this super chat. Thank you very much. I totally appreciate it, and you're pretty awesome, my friend. Can't wait to see you in Hershey this year. I hope you're going to be there. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, it didn't go. There it is. That's the one we're looking for. Thank you, Impossible Pup. I totally appreciate you. All right, I got a lot of things going on here. Now, let's just take a second. Okay, so Grace, she definitely is a bit fearful of having her nails trimmed, correct? Right? You can clearly see that. She's not vicious or anything. She's protecting herself. She's trying to avoid this from happening. She's actually the sweetest little girl ever. She means no harm to anybody, trust me. But she doesn't like it. Okay, she's fearful. You can see it. If you watch her eyes, you can see it in her eyes. So now I wanted to see if I can help her and Devin feel more confident during these nail trims. And I'm going to show you how it went for me and Grace. In this demo, you will also see me demonstrating the advice that I have for Devin and how Grace will react to my methods. So you ready for demo number 2? Let's roll it! When you guys are working, Shawn said, let's have her stand up. That's a good idea.
Okay.
As much as possible, because
Yeah.
it builds her confidence. If, you know, she can stand proud,
Yeah.
it's like a confidence boost. If she had a tail, you would tip the tail up. You know how that boosts her confidence, Shawn?
Yes, indeed.
So, I mean, maybe, she does have a tail, so maybe for a second, you know, yes, Grace. Yes, Grace.
It's like people too. When we stand up tall and sit up with good posture, we feel better and we're able to think better.
Yes, and you feel more confident about what you're doing. It's great that you guys are using the Groomer's Helper. Honestly, that is ideal because it really helps her know that you want her to stay here, and it also obviously limits her ability to dance around. The more a dog, like say a dog that's whining and wants out. Mom's outside, I want to come out with you. Mom's not letting the dog come out. Doesn't want the dog out. There's a reason why. So the dog's whining. What happens when a dog whines? He whines more, and then he cries, and then he stands up and does this. So if we keep letting them elevate, and this system keeps them from elevating.
Okay.
It keeps them from fighting and twisting, and now she's not really that kind of dog. She's just saying I don't like it. But it does help so much in their psyche. This is already, you guys are set up for a win-win. Having Grace stand, boost your confidence a little bit. Yes, Grace. Yes. The one thing that I noticed I would do differently with Grace that you did, I noticed you were trying to work with this out front.
Okay.
And there's a couple things. Well, first was she's really concerned about it. That paw is right there, which means the clippers are going to be right here.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like that. So maybe it'll work better. I usually run my hand down their little arm, and then I gently lift it out kind of to the side and straight. And then it's okay, Grace. Yes, Grace, yes. And I can't trim anything over here. Maybe if it's tipped back, and it's also easier for you to see the nail
Okay.
in this direction. I
Yeah.
think, just from my experience, I think I can see it better if I'm tipping
Okay.
it back. Kind of like I told you before, we support
Yeah.
that to try to keep that straight so that she's not doing this.
Okay.
Or you can also just put the hand in the armpit and still kind of support this and hold it back out away from her.
Yeah.
Kind of her little peripheral vision. That helps a little bit. Other than that, you know, I think you're doing, I didn't really have any other tips to give you on the back feet. You tip them up like this, which was wonderful. And obviously you always want to make sure your dog is standing. If I have her leg hiked up like this too high,
Yeah.
she's gonna want to do this.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you just tip it up, and that's perfect. And then using your fingers to kind of manipulate each single digit that you're going to trim. So you are doing good. Now let me see if I have any success with Grace. Which one over here needs trimmed, Devin? Which nail?
What's this one?
Looks like
I
I
might
should
have-
use it.
Yeah.
See now how she's pulling? She's pulling away. I'm going to bring her back. Yes. Yes. Well, I know it's me. Yes. Okay. And I'm going to do that again if she goes to do that. Yes. Yes, Grace. Yes. Sometimes they say, you know, I got more time than a dog. I'll outweight this dog, you know, meaning we'll do this all day.
Yeah.
Now the truth of the matter is we don't have all day. we could just sit here all day and say, oh, I can just keep bringing it back till finally you stand. And then I'm going to say, now we're talking. But if we have the time, that's always good training.
Would you like me to hold her back here?
No, it's ideal that Grace does it on her own if possible. I know that it makes her feel comforted when you're here, but at the same time, that also tells her maybe there's a reason she should be comforted.
Ah, okay.
She's a big.
So I need to
she
stop
can
doing
do
that.
this. Maybe we can teach Grace to be more confident. That would be helpful because that'll change her mind. Sometimes you can slide your hand right through here.
Okay.
Which then when she goes to turn, she's gonna run into my arm. That might keep her standing a little better.
Okay.
See how that-
Yeah.
Yes, Grace. Yes. Yes, Grace. Yes. Yes, Grace. Yes. Good job. Yes, Grace. Good. Open that back a little bit. Yes, Grace. Yes, Grace. Good job. See, they can.
Yeah.
They can't get themselves over the hurdle a little bit, but it helps. It
Yeah.
helps to keep her still a little bit. Yes. I'm thinking that's pretty trimmed. Yes. See what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
Kind of what a mother would do. Is that right, Shawn?
Yes.
A mother would put pressure.
Right in here.
Just say, hey. And maybe that psychologically. Yes. And there again, we can take our time. We can make her make this take longer than it needs to, if that's what it's going to do. Yes, Grace.
Yes, Grace.
Yes. Grace. We're still
Now, this
here,
is where
huh?
I would jump in and tell her no. Is that acceptable or not?
Yeah.
Grace,
'cause
no.
she knows that. Yes, Grace. Yes. It wasn't so bad. It's okay. Stand up. Good. Good. Yes, Grace. Yes. Yes. Kind of. She said she's jumping. I'm trying to get the right hold on it
Yeah.
before I pull my hand over her and go for it because she's quick. She's actually not terrible. Yes. Maybe I should let her get sick of fighting me for a minute. Just keep holding this one up. Yes. Matt. Yes, Grace. It's okay. I know you don't like. You've made that quite clear. Yeah, I don't think you guys could be trimming much else off with trimming them once a week. You have them in good shape. I'm trying, when I'm sitting here looking, I'm like, what do I want to trim off of this? It's not much. Grace. Yes. Grace. Yes. Stop. Just one more, it's going to be a win, okay? Yes. Yes, Grace. It's okay. Yes. Well done. Well done.
Amy, we find it's really actually a great way to train puppies, and we have puppies watch when the other dogs are being worked with or groomed. And
That's perfect. That is such a good point you bring it up. I do the same thing with family dogs that come in, say maybe a group of 3 dogs will come and be groomed, and I always work with the most perfect dog first. So the other 2 can watch and see, this is how we do it, you know? And then I'll go for the next one who's a little more better behaved than the other one. They do learn, they watch us. Like you probably see them watching you when you're training with the other dog.
Yeah.
It's funny.
they learn so well that way. And of course, Grace is a therapy dog, and she is very gentle and sweet. It's just when she gets her nails done, she has a little bit of a challenge.
Always been like that for nails, as far as you can remember.
Maybe the problem, Amy, is that I've always been like that. So I get anxious.
Oh, you mean you were like, it's okay, Grace, it's okay.
And so what I'm realizing is I may have been fostering some of the wrong thing. I may have been rewarding.
She's a very sensitive dog, though.
I may have been rewarding the wrong thing by saying yes to her when she was misbehaving on the table. And maybe I'm having an aha moment here about what I need to do better myself. So thank you, Amy.
Yes, and Grace.
And Grace loves you. Yes.
So sweet. She really is. So, did you notice the way that I would position Grace? And it kind of helps to encourage her to feel more confident on the grooming table. That's the idea. And I know it's not going to happen in 1 or 2 or 3 sessions, but each session will probably get a little better if you're consistent. But having Grace stand and be a little more confident can help her, and with me bringing confidence to the table. So those 2 things together can help her up here in her mind to not get in a bad space. And that's the idea. We can't let them get themselves so worked up there in a bad space. It's truly too hard to work with them if that's their mental status at the moment. So our job is to boost their confidence in ways when they are doing something good. Yes, Grace. She knows that. Yes means good. The tone of my voice. Yes. That's saying I like that. If she's not being compliant, then just being patient and having her stand and reset herself is a good idea. And then we move on. And remember I said in a video, it's like, you know, we can do this all day. If I want her to stand and she keeps trying to sit, okay. Don't say a word, just pick that little hiney back up, have her stand. I go start trimming, she wants to sit, okay, we need to reset Grace. We can do that 500 times. I mean, if you're working with your dog at home, it's easy for you to keep, finally they're like, oh, she wants me to stand. And when they do stand, yes, good. Let them know, let them hear that tone of your voice. It's important. So I do feel like, and I don't know if you guys noticed it, I'd be glad to see what you felt already from watching the first 2 demos. We have 1 more to watch. Do you think that we're helping Grace to bring a little confidence and getting her through the nail trims a little better? Now this is something that Grace is working on, you know, and she's not a mean dog at all. She's fearful. So having Grace stand with confidence helps her feel positive about her nails being trimmed, a little more positive. She's still very fearful. At the same time, that same principle of having her stand during nail trims, that same principle applies to when you're giving your dog a haircut too. You want them to feel confident with the clippers, confident with your methods of what you're doing with them. You want them to feel good about that. So having them stand nicely as much as possible helps to bring some of that confidence level up for the dog. And yes, she still struggled. Grace did. She still struggled to feel good about having her nails trimmed. There's no doubt about it. But she will improve with every nail trimming session if she is consistently worked with and Devin remains calm, confident as she leads Grace to overcome this fear of nail trimming. We're the leaders. We're the ringleaders, guys. Okay. Now, I want to give you some bonus tips and a little demo on how to provide confidence to your dog when giving them a haircut. So there's certain ways that we can handle a dog, their leg, how we position them that makes them feel good, you know, like it's not uncomfortable. Very important that they're not uncomfortable the way that we handle them. So having these tips that I'm going to share with you, definitely these are comfortable ways to hold your dog's legs, especially when clipping, which is an area that a lot of people struggle with when they're clipping their dog's legs. They're not comfortable with that. So I'm going to show you some ways to hold those legs comfortable to the dog and comfortable to you to work with the leg. So this is a big one, I think, for a lot of you. So watch how gently I work with this cute little schnauzer, and you're going to be like, that's not a schnauzer. He's a toy schnauzer, and he's bred to have the color that he has. No, he could never go into the show ring because he's a toy schnauzer, and he is not one of the 3 acceptable colors for the show ring. But he is 100% pure miniature schnauzer, guaranteed. So his name is Reddy. He is Ellie Grace's daddy. For those of you that know my mom's schnauzer and my schnauzer, she lives with my mom. Her name is Ellie Grace. Ellie Grace, are you watching? So she's so sweet. She's so much like Grace. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So you're going to watch me working with Reddy in order to keep him feeling positive throughout our grooming session. How I do this. What are some of my methods? If the dog is comfortable with the way that we handle them, the dog will be more likely to cooperate during the groom. Okay, it's very important. If we ask our dogs to stand in uncomfortable positions, they're definitely going to protest the process. So watch this clip of me working with Reddy and getting full cooperation from him, because I am definitely using good handling techniques to clip in awkward areas of the dog. So you ready for our third and final demo, guys? Let's roll it. So this is a tough area to get into. So we'll lift up this opposite leg, come in, and try to follow that down as best you can. Sometimes on the inside of the leg, you're almost forced to go a little bit in reverse, which is okay. His hair is so long, we certainly don't have to worry about damaging the hair follicle, because the hair follicle is against his skin. And come all the way down to the floor. If you need to pick the leg up so you can extend that pass, see?
That's great, yes.
So you can get down all the way to the foot. It's going to save you some scissor work time. And I think anytime you can save scissor work time, whether you're grooming of 40 years or grooming of 1 year, if you can save scissor time, do it. And then follow, see, I'm just kind of letting the clipper move his little top foot here. Just glide down that hair. You can come sort of at it. This is a little thick and bulky. We could come at it in a different direction, like more sideways, to try to get a hold of it. But those are the easiest ways to do the legs. That was always a struggle for me. Scissoring the legs and clipping the legs. Finding that comfortable way to get it done was always a struggle. So I find that if I pick them up right here, I put my hand, yes, ready. Put my hand right here, kind of in the flank, and tilt outwards. They automatically will, that leg will just kind of be limp. And then I'll get to kind of glide it along with my clipper. You know, I can move the leg with my clipper. They are a little bit pliable. Don't forget that. Your dog is able to move with you a little more than you think. Right, ready? And then you see how I kind of hold that leg, push out the elbow a little bit so that he's kind of going like this, and that just lets that arm hang. That's what I want. So I can just glide down it in a comfortable way. Good, Reddy. He's a little bulky in here. This is a tough one with this guard comb. This is a tough one to make pretty. You want this much length, so your only other option is hand scissor. But you also have to put the clipper pressure against the skin. See? And roll the hair in front of the guard comb so it gets fed into the cutting blade. Good boy, Reddy. Yes. Yes. It's just very awkward at first, I know, and it's kind of hard to put into words sometimes, so I have to think about it. You're ready. Yes. He is so cool. It's unbelievable that he's a Schnauzer. I just can't even believe, this coat is so soft. Now this is part of the toy Schnauzers that Shawn breeds. She breeds them to have this soft coat. And it's almost addicting to touch.
Oh, it is.
It's so soft. It's really cool.
It is a fur coat, although that's hair.
Yeah, yeah.
That does not shed.
No shedding. It could be the new craze. Too cute, right? Yes, and Reddy is young. I believe Reddy was about a year old in that video. He's definitely worked with often and used to the tools, the sound, the feel of the tools, and that's important, guys. One more thing we can do when we're training our dogs to love grooming on the table is to have a clipper and turn it on, but not actually clip the dog. And touch the dog with the back of your hand going down the dog. The vibration of the clipper is going to come through your hand and onto your dog's body. And this is a way to desensitize them to clippers. Now you don't have to get crazy and go right for the face. That might be the area that they're going to be a little reluctant about when it comes to grooming. So just start rubbing down their body, and the feeling of you rubbing down their body and the vibration of the clipper gets them used to the clipper. Also, the feeling of you touching them feels good. So, and honestly, when I groom dogs and I'm clipping along and I'm doing a lot of clipper work, it should feel good to them because it's like touching. Just like when we go get our hair done, guys, and our hairdresser is touching our scalp and our head, it feels good. It should feel good. If it hurt, you'd say, ow, right? You pulled my hair. You know, your hairdresser's trained not to do that. That's why it doesn't hurt. You know, she knows what she's doing, or he knows what he's doing. So there are these ways to, during your little sessions with your dog, when you're trying to desensitize them, to introduce them to the tools without completely introducing them to the tools. But it helps. It really does. And with Reddy, you noticed how oftentimes I would pick a leg up. Like if I wanted to clip down the underbody of him, under his armpit, I'll pick the leg and hold it straight out so that it's straight and it's actually pulling the skin underneath here taut, so I can get a nice smooth clip. The clipper can ride real nice under that underline. Same with down the legs. You know, notice how I was handling him. I tell you guys a lot, one of the biggest secrets, if you watch me, to help learn useful dog grooming techniques, if you watch me, I always tell you guys, watch my other hand too. The hand that does not have the tool. Watch what it is doing. The other hand is always what is getting me good compliancy with my dog. It's holding the dog up, keeping the confidence level up, right? It's holding the dog up, it's holding the chin up, it's making the dog nice and straight and confident while I'm using my other hand with the tools. And the other hand is often, my hand that does not have the tool is often holding the skin taut, so I get a nice smooth clipper pass. It's holding the hand or the arm up, the hand, my dog has hands. It's holding the arm up comfortably of the dog as I brush it. So I'm not pulling on his leg and brushing him. That's not comfortable. So always think about the ways you are handling your dog to make them feel comfortable. If they feel comfortable, they're likely to try and work with you. Okay? If they feel uncomfortable, they're going to ixnay it right away. They're going to say, nope, not having it. So watch my videos and watch my other hand. Like when you watch one of my videos, you can watch to see how I'm using my clipper, how I'm doing this, how I'm scissoring, all these things. Then go back and watch the same video and really watch what my opposite hand, the hand that does not have the tools, watch what that hand is doing. That's how you get good behavior on the grooming table. This hand is assisting at all times throughout anything that I'm doing with a dog, even if it's just holding up one of the other legs so that they don't pick up the leg that I'm trying to scissor around, right? This hand's always doing something, and it's really important to watch that. Now, the videos that I linked in there, the description here, guys, they are very helpful for you on topic tonight as far as what our topic is, how to get your dog to be okay with grooming, okay? How to work with them to get them there. So those videos are so helpful. The third one was the live stream that Shawn and I did together, and Shawn shared so much valuable expert knowledge. I mean, people pay for that, but you're getting it for free. So please take advantage of it. And Shawn, I see you made it to the chat. I am so glad to see you. I am so thankful for all the information that you've shared with us, even on your own YouTube channel. It's very valuable. But when you did that live stream with me, I tell you, I go back and watch it sometimes because I learned things from Shawn in that live stream. As a groomer, that helps me. So I'm encouraging all of you guys to watch those 3 videos. And the last one with Shawn and I, that one is for you. That's going to help you get your mind right and come to the grooming table with confidence. It's so important. And I have a lot of videos on my channels also, guys. I have a lot of videos on my channel that will help you use your tools properly so that you are being safe. How to properly harness the dog. I saw Sharon had a question with Arlo. My little Arlo, do you hear me, buddy? He's the cutest dog ever. And he knows the sound of my voice. Just because he watches me with Mom. So cool. So little Arlo is like a poodle mix. He's a small dog. And Sharon grooms him and has some struggles. He's a very active dog, and he's very active on the grooming table. So I think some of those practice sessions are going to be good, Sharon, when you're not actually using the tools, because you're teaching him how to behave for you on the grooming table, and that's the first thing. Then we can introduce tools in the next session or the next one or the next one. Now, you said about him always wanting to lick everything. It's very important. You noticed in the demos that I showed you guys today that we did not have a lot of slack in our grooming loops. Now, we weren't tight on the dog. That's a no-no too. You know, they have blood vessels here that need oxygen. So it's a fine line there, what's just right, okay? Just like Goldilocks trying all the porridge. Yeah, this one's, yeah, that's right. So it's important that you have Arlo secured properly on the table, and having the groomer's helper, grooming loop, these are all I use, will allow you to hook this hook under their chin down to the grooming bar with a separate arm hitch. And then obviously adjust this to fit just like you would a dog collar. You want to be able to nicely be able to slide 2 fingers in here. That's a nice fit on the harness, on the loop of the dog grooming loop, okay? And then these, they lock into place with hair, but they lock into place, so now it's fitted for that specific dog. And then you will adjust your grooming arm to only take the slack out of the grooming loop. So when the slack is out, not when it's like this, when the slack is out, that's perfect. Lock in your grooming arm, because now the dog does not have the ability to move his head into your scissor action, to spin on the table. You know, they're gonna do it if they can, a lot of dogs. So you have to take that away from the scenario for them, so they don't even have to think they can do it, because they can't now. And that takes that off the the grooming table, right? So now we were already on the right direction for getting good behavior, is by having them safely, properly secured on the grooming table. If there's too much slack in your grooming loop where it's connected to your grooming arm, your dog has a lot of freedom, and a lot of dogs will push their freedom. Some dogs will not. They'll just stand there like perfect little statues. But some dogs will push the issue. You know, I got a little bit of freedom, I'm going to take it. So keeping the slack out of the grooming loop is important, and you'll see that in one of the videos that I linked for you guys. You know, how to properly, safely secure them. That's one of the first steps to working with your dog on the grooming table towards better behavior. Now, if Arlo is really licky around when you're trying to work around his muzzle, his face, I don't squeeze them, but I always hold the dog on top of their nose under their chin like this. I do a little C hold. So if he wants to open his mouth to get that tongue out, I feel it. And I'm keeping the mouth closed, especially around the mouth when I'm using scissors. Some dogs are so quick with their tongue, and they will lick the shear and get a little paper cut, which isn't fun. It bleeds. It's not like it's a huge slice, but it's not fun. You don't want that. You know, it will stop bleeding, guaranteed, but it's not fun. Now you're stressed. We don't want to stress at the grooming table. Do everything we can to keep them safe. Be thinking one step ahead before we get to that step. Okay? I'm going to be trimming around his mouth. I'm going to have to be very careful and hold his mouth shut and take a couple snips and back off, see how he's acting, come back in with my comb the hair out, and get at it and get out of there. You know, as a groomer, that's what I do. I don't spend a lot of time right around the mouth and the lip area. I'll keep coming back to it. I'll scissor around the eyebrows, scissor the dome, then I'll come here and scissor under the chin, then I'll scissor the cheek, then I'll come here, scissor over the top lip. You know, you kind of got to move around a little bit so that you're one step ahead of them. You know, as soon as they think that you're going to be doing one thing, you're off to the other. And it kind of entertains them. They're just stimulated by what you're doing. Okay, she's doing this now. Well, now she's doing this. You know, but having good behavior on the grooming table can happen. It can. And I'll tell you where one of the things that's very difficult for pet groomers, if they have a dog that is afraid or fearful of grooming because they don't know, they don't understand it, okay? Of course they are allowed to be fearful and afraid. So one of the struggles with pet groomers is that we don't get to work with them again until 6-8 weeks, maybe 3 months from now. That kind of is hard when we're working with a dog. We're working a dog towards good behavior on the grooming table. That's why if you are grooming your own dog at home, you are in the perfect position to really work them through these fearful areas, or just starting out by getting them comfortable on the grooming table, okay? And even if you're going to take your dog to a groomer and you just want to have a portable table for brushing your dog and doing sanitary trimmings or whatever, it's wonderful because it's a space where you're going to work with your dog, and they learn that when they're on the grooming table. That's where we work together, me and my mom. That's where we work, or me and my dad. That's what the dog is going to start to understand. So if you do groom your own dog, you're kind of one step ahead of the dogs that we as professionals struggle with, because we don't get to see them as often as we should in order to work them through a problem. Now, I have done many videos on this issue, a couple of live streams telling you guys as professionals, do not hesitate to put together a package that is a package of grooming sessions. Maybe they're only 20 minutes long, but they're all about desensitizing. They're all about working the dog through fearful grooming. You as groomers can actually sell that to your clients, because if you are good with working with dogs, which you probably are, or you wouldn't be a groomer, you can help work them through this, but you need to see them a little more often than every 6 weeks in order to work them through that, okay? So that is some good advice. And I did a live stream on that also about puppy grooming, how I desensitize puppies. And for my channel members, I see many of you here today. How you doing? I'm going to be seeing you this Sunday, by the way. So keep your eye out for a new link. But anyway, of when we're getting together, it's Sunday at 12:30, I believe, for members only. But I did put together a puppy package. My members got that puppy package in a PDF of incremented grooming sessions and how to break that down and what to do during each grooming session to desensitize a puppy. And it was fantastic. So, but then I did do a live stream for everybody. And that goes back a little ways, maybe, I don't know, about 5-6 live streams ago. And I was talking about how we desensitize dogs to grooming. And that doesn't just go for puppies. Sometimes we get a rescue dog who doesn't have any idea of what dog grooming is. So we have to help them through that process and help them to accept it. So I have a lot of information out there for you guys. You just got to dig through it on my channel. But it's helpful. Depending on what you're struggling with, there's probably a video that's really going to help you out. So I'm going to answer a few questions right here for you guys right now. Cynthia says, hi Amy, how would I hold a dog's leg that has hip dysplasia? Well, that's a good question. A dog that has hip dysplasia is probably going to have a little trouble standing anyway. And there are some, I have a very soft is the key, kind of like a belly band that I will put right behind the crease of the back legs. And it also hooks to your grooming bar. And I will just have enough slack in there that the dog has a little bit of give, because I want them to somewhat be helping to hold their weight, but it's very hard on them. So that helps them. I also always keep a hand underneath them. If they need help, my other hand, remember the other hand, on the other hand is always assisting. Sometimes it's assisting the dog. So in those cases, the other hand will be helping them to stay up so that I can do what I have to do. So I find that to be typically the case, even if a dog doesn't have hip dysplasia. It usually ends up being how I work with my senior dogs as they age. They need some help. You know, they get tired, their little bones are tired, their muscles aren't as strong as they used to, and I have to help them. So another thing I was thinking of was I saw Janelle had a good suggestion. She said that Elsie had given her a link to, I believe, a type of harness that helps hold the dog up. And there are many different types of harnesses out there. They're very helpful. So those types of products help a lot. I know Alex and I did a live stream on Instagram. So you can follow me on Instagram, Go Groomer. And this was really good. I had tried one of Groomer's Choice. Groomer's Choice is a pet product distributor. So they distribute all of our products. So Groomer's Choice, they had a new type of kind of a hammock for a dog. My bulldog stresses way worse than Grace over nails. I mean, fearful to the 10th power. So I did a video with Alex live, and we tried this hammock with Gus, and I will tell you, by elevating him like that, his toes couldn't touch the ground, and keeping a calm, nurturing demeanor to my voice, not a lot of fluff in my voice, just when I need to say something, it's very calm. We're not getting crazy, even though the dog's getting crazy. I was very successful with trimming his nails. And when I say successful, I mean because he was kind of okay with it in his mind. As good as little Gus could be. He was better than I have ever had him be for nail trims. So sometimes elevating them takes that power out of their stubborn mind. And he's a bulldog, so my dog is stubborn. Takes the power out of that. And they have to kind of just give in. And then they see, oh my gosh, I did just fine. It really wasn't that bad. Gosh, it didn't even hurt. You know, they realize that. And when they realize these things, those are successful sessions. Because even though it may have still been a hard session to get through, we had success. And it was a little better than the last time. So that's a win even for the dog. And they'll, you know, just keep working with them. It's important. So I'm glad Janelle brought that up. There are a lot of different types of doggy hammocks, doggy harnesses that help elevate the dog so you can do what you need to do. The only time I find them to be hindering in the grooming process is obviously you can't do clipper work or scissor work when the dog is in a hammock. So I feel like the best use of the hammock is for fearful nail trims, because it kind of takes all that away from the dog. They're probably still fearful, but hopefully they see how it didn't hurt, they got through it, and maybe the next time they won't be so afraid, and the next time and the next time and the next time, a little better, a little better. That's what we hope for. So that was a good question, Cynthia. Thank you for asking it. Stephanie says, my teacup Maltese is hard to hold her nose like that. She's so tiny. Oh my gosh, so she's very, very tiny. Well, then you probably only need your finger and your thumb like this. I mean, and just the gentlest grip. But you'll have to have a grip. You can't have a dog. You can't be trying to trim anything on a dog's face without a hand on the dog, whether that's supporting the jaw, holding them here so they're not moving. You cannot have a dog moving when you're trimming the head or the face. You cannot have it. So having those little holds is very important to keep them safe. So, you know, I've worked with some very tiny dogs too, Stephanie. I know it's not as easy, but it's fine. You just have a very delicate hold on them. But yeah, but you're very keen to any movement that they may have, you know, because it can be dangerous. Yes, so she moves her head like crazy. Yes, well, you've got to hold the head still. You got to hold the head still. A lot of people question dog groomers' methods. Always, why are you squeezing the dog's mouth? I'm not squeezing the dog's mouth. Why would I do that? But I'm holding it so that he can't open it, so that your dog goes home with his tongue. Is that okay? You know, there's a lot of people that are critical out there. When it comes to dog grooming, you have to be very sure about what you're doing, guys. And there's a lot of people that think that we should be able to get a dog up here and set him here. We should be able to just say, hey, look, I'm going to do this. Hold still. It doesn't work like that. Even the dogs that are very easy to work with, we still got to take those safety precautions of holding the mouth shut when we're around the lips or anything, and tilting the head so that we can clearly see and they're holding still. So it's not an aggressive thing the way a dog groomer has to hold the dog, as long as they're holding them in a way that's comfortable to the dog. We do have to do that. We have to hold them so that they do not get hurt. I mean, that's for a dog groomer, you know, that's the worst thing that you want to see. You don't want to see a dog get hurt. It actually hurts you to see that happen, because you're like, I did it. It's my fault. Even if a dog's hard to work with, you're going to wear all that guilt, which is a really hard thing, you know, for a dog groomer to bring to the grooming table. It causes fear in your abilities. And you have to keep the confidence level up. You can never rush. Rushing causes accidents. If you're rushing, that's when, you know, something gets nicked. And, you know, there's just no reason to rush. No reason whatsoever. So I'm just looking for questions here, guys. I can only really see the ones if you put a line through it. I want to get you some answers. I think I'm pretty caught up in here. Shawn says, since we began our Sunday ritual, so Shawn owns the dogs that we were working with in the demos today. She says, since we began our Sunday grooming rituals for nail trims, Devin and I do it together. All the dogs, including Grace, are much better with nails, and puppies don't mind it at all. That is fantastic, Shawn. And I knew you guys were going to get there. I knew you were, with consistency, and that's what you were already doing, was being very consistent. And I'm so glad to hear that Grace is accepting it much better, for her sake too. Good for you, Grace. She finally got the confidence. So guys, I want to tell you our next live from the grooming table is scheduled for 2 weeks from now. It is on Monday, August 7th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's the topic? It's a good one. It's appropriate. Dog summer haircuts. What is best for your dog? We're going to cover a lot of things in this. It's not just about what type of haircut's best for my dog in the summer. Hey, we're going to cover stuff such as, do all dogs need a haircut in the summer? Can all dogs get a haircut in the summer, or is it damaging to the coat? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about coat types so we know, can we give our dog a summer trim? What is the shortest length that is safe for the dog as a summer trim in order to still allow their fur to protect their skin? Because that's what the skin is, the fur is designed to protect the skin. It's the largest organ in their body. So we're going to dive deep on summer haircuts for your dog and what is best for your dog and what you should and shouldn't do. I see we have another couple questions come in. Shawn says, do you know how much we all appreciate you? You smarty. That's not a question. Well, it kind of is a question. I do, Shawn, and I appreciate you too. I linked our video that you and I did when we did our live stream together, and it is phenomenal. And I can't wait for all of our friends to go watch it. Some of them, I'm sure, already have. Some of you were there with us live. So it's fantastic. Shawn says, we've learned so much from you watching all your videos. I am so glad. That's why I do it, Shawn. I want it to go better for everybody. I want people to have the knowledge and the information that isn't shared for free. So in other words, hey, I love my dog. I would like to learn to groom him. I'm sorry. You're going to have to pay $3,000 and go to dog grooming school if you want to learn to groom your dog. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to. So that's why we share this stuff. Sharon says, taking too long to make a cut, aka lack of so being indecisive also matters, Sharon. Yeah. So when you're like, okay, am I ready? Am I going? Oh, and then you lose the moment when you're trying to scissor a dog. So practice your scissor work, Sharon. Remember we did the paint roller lesson? Practice your scissor work sometime and have Arlo close to you so he can hear the sound of those scissors and get used to it. But you're going to build dexterity in your hands and control over your shears as long as you're holding them right, which I just did a video last week about that, holding your tools right. It all matters, guys. It really does. Stephanie says, thank you. Want to come to Maui? Sure. Yeah. Send me your coordinates. I'll be right there. Sounds nice. Oh, Jenny, how you doing? It's so nice to be able to sit in today. Thanks for all you do, Amy Lee. And it is my pleasure, Jenny, and we are so glad that you could sit in with us. It's always good to see you. Jenny just super chatted me. Love you, Amy. Keep up the good work. You know I'm going to do it, honey. I'm having way too much fun with you guys, teaching you how to groom dogs like professionals because you're doing amazing work. So you're not getting away without a salute. I'm putting my hands up right now. This is for Jenny. Who can I turn to? Jenny, thank you very much. I'm so glad you were here tonight. You are doing amazing things, girlfriend. I'll tell you what, I'm proud of all of you. So we just keep doing what we do, right? We're getting better together, all of us, always learning together. Stephanie says there's a severe lack of groomers here. You know, I hear that in a lot of areas, Stephanie. I do. And I'll tell you, it's causing a lot of people to be forced to buy enough professional tools in order to properly give their dog a haircut, but they have to learn how to do it. And there's a learning curve to it, but people are enjoying it. And more because people don't have options for dog grooming, professional dog grooming. They are having to become their dog's groomer, and they're coming to communities like ours and learning how to do that safely and effectively. And then they're finding that they actually enjoy it, and that it is such a bond-building experience between them and their pets that they would never even think about going back to a groomer because they enjoy it so much. And that is one of the coolest things about dog grooming. It should be enjoyable. It shouldn't be a job. I got to do this. I got to groom you today. It should be enjoyable because it's really special. It's very special. So nowadays we're having more and more people grooming their own dogs. And the reason Stephanie brought up is kind of why. Some people just want to. They want to learn it. They want to have that moment with their dog once every 4 weeks, once every 6 weeks. And they're like, wow, I can't believe how it helps us build our bonds together, me and my dog. So it's an amazing, grooming dogs is an amazing thing. It really is. Not just as a professional, if you groom your own dog. As a professional, working with dogs is absolutely priceless. I mean, they give me so much because of our grooming sessions. What the dog gives me is a lot. People don't realize that dog groomers, when they're sharing that moment with a pet that they're grooming, it's not their pet, but they are so building bonds with this dog, it ain't even funny. You really, I mean, it's like they're heartwarming moments, you know, because this is only something you and the dog share together, is these grooming sessions. And the dog knows it too, and I see it. I see it in the dog. I see it in the way they feel about me. It's because we bonded through grooming. So it is just such a special, cool thing. It absolutely is. But now, if that didn't make you tear up a little, I'm about ready to make you well up. We're going to take a look at the Farmer's Dog Super Bowl commercial because it's so amazing. But another reason we're looking at it is because I am a partner with the Farmer's Dog, and I can give you and your pets a 100% free trial of the Farmer's Dog food delivered to your door. Everything that your dog needs is in the bowl. Anything your dog doesn't need is not in the bowl. This is a completely encompassed food plan that meets the needs of your dog's species appropriate. So there's blah, 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 blah. But it's true. What we feed our dog can affect so many areas of our dog's lives. Even skin and coat. Allergies. But their overall health really does depend on what we put in the bowl. So here's a Farmer's Dog commercial for you guys because I love you so much. I'll see you in 2 weeks. You keep rocking it. Take care.